Okay, perfect. Happy Sunday, everyone. Let's start at the top of the mat. We'll bring our feet together, hands together. Just close the eyes. Take a few breaths. On your next exhale, just lower your arms by your sides. Let your eyes gently open. Your inhale, reach up. You can look up or look straight ahead. And exhale to lower your arms down again by your sides. Inhale, reach up. Think about your shoulders rotating as you reach, so that your pinkies touch first. Exhale, arms by your sides. And the arms stay straight, so the way that you get your hands to change their rotation is to just change your shoulders. The hands just go for the ride, the elbows just go for the ride. Let's just do that one more time. This is going to be really important later when we do a specific headstand. But we have to know how to rotate the shoulders in this way. Let's reach up, we'll look up, inhale. And on your exhale, just bring your arms out to the side, palms facing forward, hips facing forward. Inhale there, and twist to your right. And as you're twisting, think about pushing your right hip forward. Next inhale, we'll just come through center. And exhale, twist the other way. You'll have to think about pushing your left hip forward. Inhale through center. Twist right, exhale. We just want to keep the hips facing forward. So it's a twist and not a turn. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale through center. And just lower the arms, exhale. Inhale to reach up. Find that rotation in the shoulders so your pinkies are attracted to each other. Exhale, fold forward. You can bend the knees if you need. If your back is sensitive, inhale towards straighter legs. And exhale to fold again, whatever you need to do with your legs to make your back comfortable. One more time like this. Inhale, chest goes forward. Exhale, drop the head and chest down. Inhale, halfway up. Armpits away from hips. Step into plank. You can always modify the plank by putting your knees on the floor. But you'll have a straight line either from knees to top of head or from feet to top of head. Take one more breath here. And on your exhale, slowly come all the way to the belly. And get your elbows to face back to graze your ribs so that when you come down, it's through chaturanga. Untuck the toes, little cobra, inhale. We're going to stay here for an extra breath or two. You can roll your shoulders up toward your ears, like literally shrug them up, and then they'll be able to move back a lot more. And once they're moving back, now that down action with the shoulder blades is much easier. Let's release the chest back to the ground. Exhale. Return to plank for your inhale. So you'll just push into the floor to lift your body up. Downward dog for your exhale. We'll stay here for a few breaths. Wiggle it around however you need. It's amazing how at the beginning of practice, downward dog is so hard. And toward the end, it is your resting place. Okay, after your exhale, step or jump feet to hands. Inhale, armpits away from hips. Exhale, head towards shin bones. Inhale all the way up. Let's interlace the fingers. Steeple mudra, point your finger up, and we're just going to put the head between the arms. We're just looking straight forward and just squeezing your arms into your head. On your next exhale, whenever that is, reach your arms left, push your hips to the right. On the inhale, return to center, get as tall as you can, and then go the other way. Just go with your breath, whatever that is. The inhale makes you tall, and the exhale gives you the side bend. Just notice how your feet and hands react to where your hips are going. This is something that you'll need to do in a Marichyasana or in a scorpion situation, just that it would be a forward back instead of a side to side. And it's the same kind of idea. in a pincha, your legs will be doing what your arms are doing, reaching opposite your hips. And whenever you're finished with that cycle, we'll just release the arms down by the side. And let's keep the arms down there. Just start to spin them to face either forward or out. So the palms either forward or out. And just pay attention to what your shoulders are doing to make that happen. Stay here for one more breath. Draw the belly in. And without changing the shoulders, we're just going to reach the arms up for an inhale. Fold forward for the exhale. We're halfway up for the inhale. And step to plank for the exhale. Stay here for the inhale, but make a choice about your knees. And exhale, come all the way down to your belly. Chest and hips land at the same time. Inhale to a cobra. And we'll stay here and try to move the shoulders back and down so that you feel like the bottom tips of your shoulder blades are poking the back of your heart and lifting it up, forward and up. Okay, chest will come down. Make a choice about your knees again. We're going to return to plank. So think tailbone toward heels as you're lifting your body. And we'll meet in downward dog. Wiggle it around. Let's lift the heels and spin them to the right so that your 10 toes all face to the left. Bend the right knee and push a little harder into your left foot. Push a little harder into your fingers so your chest goes closer to your thighs. And that'll just be a nice stretch for the left waist. Let's bring the feet up and over to the other side. And put a little bend in that left knee. So we're just exaggerating the stretch through the right waist. My family is visiting from New York. Last night we ordered 2 large pies and a calzone, and we had some other food we had made. So twisting's gonna feel really good today for me. Let's spin the feet to forward again. Heels up high for an inhale. Bend the knees, exhale, jump forward. Inhale when you get there. Fold, exhale. Rise all the way up, inhale. Let's take hold of opposite elbows. And same idea of what you did with steeple mudra, just you won't be squeezing your head quite as much to the side, there's a little space there. But try to get your ears right between your upper arms. So the inhale, you're just gonna reach your forearms as high as you can, and exhale over to one side. Hips go opposite forearms. And when you're ready to inhale through center, exhale to the other side. Just go back and forth at your pace, whatever that is. And notice that when you're returning to your center place, the thing that initiates is your belly drawing in toward your spine. That's going to bring you up in a nice, safe way so that your low back feels really good. And it's getting you strong at the same time. And whenever you finish that next round, we'll just lower the arms by the sides. Take your time, there's no rush. And again, we'll turn the palms to face either front or out to the side. It sort of depends on your range of motion. So when we do this later in a headstand, it's going to be our pinky fingers pushing into the floor, but it's the same rotation. So while you're here, think about not sticking your butt out. It's very tempting to do more with this pelvis tilted forward. So drop your tailbone down and keep dropping your tailbone down as you lift your arms up. And we're just going to stay here for a breath or two. You can look up if you want, or you could look straight ahead. You can have your hands together, or they could be apart, your choice. But make sure you've stayed with that shoulder rotation and that you haven't let your butt stick out, that you're dropping your tailbone down toward your feet. Next exhale, we'll fold forward. Halfway up for the inhale. And step or jump chaturanga exhale. Inhale to upward facing, pull yourself forward. Exhale to downward facing, push yourself back. Let's bring the feet together so it's like we have one big foot. On your next inhale, just lift your right leg as high as you can, stack the hip, and lower the right foot down to meet the left exhale. Inhale the left leg up high. Exhale to lower it down. Just do one more time each side. Try to keep your right and left hands working equally. So just because one leg lifted, it doesn't mean that the weight all shifts through the hand. We should try to keep it level. The next time you have your left foot down again with both heels, inhale. Bend the knees, exhale, jump forward. Inhale at the top. Fold, exhale. Utkatasana. Bend into the knees, lift the arms. So it's that same thing that you've been doing. Your palms will face away as they rise up. And let's twist hook the left arm outside of the right leg and try to lift the chest up to meet the thumb. Maybe sit a little bit lower. Okay, untwist straight legs, inhale. And head over to the other side in your twist, exhale. So instead of having your thumbs by your left shoulder, push down, left hand into right hand. Your elbow is going to push into your leg, but your leg is very solid. It's not going to move. Instead, your torso is going to lift up off of your leg. One more breath. Untwist and stand on your inhale, push into your feet to get higher, and fold, exhale. Halfway up for the inhale, stepward jump, chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing, inhale, downward facing, exhale. Right leg to the ceiling, inhale. Step to the hands, exhale. High lunge, inhale, arms up. Hands to the floor, exhale. Right leg to the ceiling again, that three-legged downward dog, inhale. Step forward, exhale. Try to get your toes to land and level with your fingers. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands down, fingers spread. Inhale, leg up high. One more time, same thing. Step forward. If it doesn't land where you want, just creep it up a little more. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands down. This time step to planks for your inhale and to chaturanga for your exhale. Upward facing, inhale. Downward facing, exhale. So we're on the other side now, left leg high, inhale. Step forward, exhale. Arms up, it's that same rotation you've been working on. Hands down, exhale. Leg up, inhale, push through all 10 fingers. Exhale, pull to bring your foot forward. Inhale, the pinkies are magnetized toward each other. Exhale, hands flat, arms straight. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale to step forward. Inhale, rotate the shoulders. Exhale, hands to the floor. Plank for your inhale. Chaturanga for your exhale. Upward facing for your inhale. Downward facing for your exhale. And you'll start to notice these down dogs are starting to feel more restful. Let's walk the feet just a little closer, maybe 6 or 8 inches in. Your down dog will be shorter. Reach your right hand for your left knee, calf, or ankle. And there's a little twist there. You can look under your left arm. Press into your heels so that you have an easier time pulling your chest closer to your leg. The bottom arm can bend and literally pull you in if you want. And let's change sides. Right hand down. Left hand to the leg somewhere. Your flexibility will determine where you grab on your leg. But your willpower is going to determine if you're keeping your right arm straight. Press into the floor with your right finger so you have a good chance at keeping that arm straight. Now let's release the left hand down. Find your normal down dog stance again, so those feet will have to back up. Heels up high for your inhale. Bend your knees for your exhale and jump forward. Inhale when you get to the top of your mat. Exhale to fold, head towards shins. Bend into the knees. Utkatasana, inhale. Twist to the right, hook your left elbow, exhale. So I just undid my prayer in order to get the twist deeper. You can do that, you can play with that, so that you feel like you're twisting enough. And when you can, step your left foot back. So we just wind up in a twisted lunge. And we'll just stay here and try to gaze up so that we see the ceiling that's right over our back. If you can, keep your back legs straight. If you feel really wobbly, just put your back knee on the floor. Okay. Keep in that lunge, unravel yourself, fingertips down. We'll straighten the front leg, flex the foot, inhale. Bend the knee, lunge, exhale. Again, inhale, straighten. Hello, hamstring, good morning. Exhale to bend. One more time like this. Inhale. And exhale. Palms flat, three-legged downward dog. So that right leg is just going to lift up. Step the right foot forward again. So it's the same leg. High lunge. Inhale. Into warrior two. Exhale. Straighten the right leg. Inhale. And rebend. Exhale. One more time like that. Inhale, as straight as you can get it. You're pushing into the ball of your foot. Exhale, bend. You're digging your heel into the ground. Right elbow to thigh. For right now, let's just reach the left arm up. Take a breath. We're going to go for a half climb. So this left arm is going to roll forward, and we'll get our knuckles to our butt, or take it further, fingers to the thigh. And with our elbow on our leg, we have a nice easy time of twisting pretty deep. If you can handle it, you'll lower your right hand to the big toe side of your foot. Try to keep the same twist that you had. 2 more breaths. Okay. We'll rise up to warrior two. So your legs are already there. Try to keep your front knee bent even when you change your upper body. Then we'll lower the hands to the floor and step back for our vinyasa. Sometimes it's tempting when we get out of a pose to straighten the front leg because that thigh is a little fatigued. But that's where just your attention and your stubbornness and your willpower all comes into play. Okay, from down dog, heels up high, inhale. Bend the knees, exhale, jump forward or step. When you get to the top, there's our inhale. Fold, exhale. Bend into the knees. Utkatasana. I'm just going to flip to the other side of my mat, but you guys stay there. We'll hook the right elbow outside of the left thigh. We'll keep the knees pressing together for a moment. Make sure that we're comfortable in the twist. Try to get the thumbs to the center chest. Then look down for balance. Push your left leg into your arm and step your right foot back. And when you can, gaze up. You can think of it as bringing your chin to your left shoulder. You want to lean back a little bit and swing your left hip toward the back edge of your mat so that you have a hip stretch for that left leg that's sort of like pigeon. Okay, untwist, fingertips down, straighten the left leg, inhale. Bend the knee, exhale. You can always have your hands up on blocks or books. Again, inhale, straighten. Exhale to bend. Because maybe with your fingers on the ground, you can't get your leg all the way straight. That's fine too if you don't want to mess around with blocks. So this next time that the knee is bent, we'll place the palms flat. Three-legged downward dog. That left leg just lifts up. Big inhale. And step forward, exhale. High lunge, inhale. Into warrior two, exhale. We straighten the left leg, inhale. Rebend, exhale. Inhale, straighten. You can always adjust the feet. You want a heel to arch alignment. Exhale to bend. This is a variation of Utkatasana. Place the elbow, right arm up, inhale. And roll that right shoulder forward so that your palm faces back. And then you'll either get your knuckles toward your tailbone or your hand will come around. That's going to depend on how much twist can you get, how much movement do you have in your shoulder. And those of you bringing your hand down, you're going to be increasing the hip situation. So just make good choices. You can always try something and change your mind. You can always be on the fingertips or the block, as opposed to palm flat. So dig your left heel into the floor. That's going to help you keep bending your left leg. We're going to rise up to warrior two. Keep the legs as they are. And then lower the hands to the floor. Step back, vinyasa. And that's really quite challenging for the thigh. Requires a lot of strength. Okay, from down dog, right leg up high, inhale. Step forward to the hands, exhale. Koundinyasana, lower the back knee, untuck the back toes. And for now, we're going to keep our fingertips down and attempt to lift the back knee with the toes untucked. So for some of you, it's no problem. Some of you, your ankle might hurt, so you want to keep your knee then very close to the floor. Just another breath. This is just to prep your foot for your back bends. Not even back bends that we're necessarily doing today, just in general, making your foot and ankle stronger. And we'll lower that knee down, hands to the right thigh. Nudge the knee forward, chest up, shoulders back. Ah, this is so nice. I love this pose. Okay, we're going to add a side bend. I'm just going to face you for the sake of you seeing both of my hands. So the left hand's going to reach out and down, right arm up and over. And as we're side bending, this front knee has to keep bending. So you'll be reaching with your fingers, but digging your front heel into the ground and bending your front knee a little more. It's tempting to go the other way and to straighten the front leg. Don't do it. Resist the urge. We stayed in that Anjaneyasana, we just added on to it. Okay, and we'll return to a nice upright position. Half split, lower the fingers, and let's straighten the right leg. So you could tuck the toes in the back foot again if you want, doesn't matter. Just get that front leg as straight as you can. And if you want a little more, you're gonna flex this foot like crazy, and then spiral the leg out to the side. So this is just the hip turning. The reflection is that the foot turned, the knee turned, but it's really from the hip. Just like earlier when you were messing with your shoulders, the reflection was in the hands, but the action was in the shoulder. Oh, Lordy. Take one more breath. Okay, spin the foot up again if you had it out to the side, bend into the knee. Step back, either vinyasa or downward dog. Vinyasas do make you strong, but if you have any wrist issues, or if in general you're just tired and questioning how you are going to get through 90 minutes, then maybe skip a few. Okay, left leg up high, inhale. Step to the hands, exhale. Right knee down. Untuck the back toes. All 5 toes of that back foot are on the ground, and we lift the knee. So we're pushing down into the toenails. And we're letting that front ankle stretch, as if we're ballerinas on point. That same ankle stretch. Okay, lower the back knee down. Hands to the left thigh or knee. So we're gonna nudge that knee forward, and as we straighten the arms doing that, the chest will move up and back. So we end up in a little more of a back bend. If it's too much to be in a back bend, you just lean your shoulders forward again. So we'll keep bending that front knee like crazy. And when you can, the right hand will come down and out to the side a little bit to support you. It could also be on a block. You don't have to go all the way to the ground. And we side bend some amount. So we're trying to get these top fingers far away from that left hip. I know that my right leg is tighter, my right thigh and hip flexors are tighter. So this side I feel tenfold of what I felt on the other side. But it's very satisfying to kind of chip away at all that. Okay, so we'll rise up again, lower the fingertips, straighten the left leg. So the hips will go back as you straighten the leg. If they go back to a point where your butt is now over your back foot, it means you need to just back this knee up, because we want the right thigh to be pretty much vertical. And then if you wanted that IT band stretch, you're just gonna swivel from your left hip so that your left toes angle off to the left side of the mat. Those of you who are runners, I encourage you to do this more often. Okay, let's bring the leg to center, bend into the knee, step back, vinyasa, or downward dog. Into down dog B. So coming onto the forearms. You can come to your knees first and then get to your forearms, or you can just bend the elbows. But you're going to want your palms flat with your elbows right behind your wrists. So we have parallel forearms. Let's bring the feet together so it's like you have one foot. Right now it's a very symmetrical pose, so it's easy to keep weight equal on right and left hands. Keep your attention on that. Lift the right leg up. Stack the right hip so your leg goes a little higher. And you'll notice now it's tempting to put more weight in the left arm. Try to level yourself out. Pretend someone is pulling on your right foot. Straighten your arms, downward dog. And step your right foot between the hands. Warrior one. Back heel down, arms up. We're going to take eagle arms from here. I'll just face front. We're just going to whip the right arm under the left and palms together. If the whipping is not a way that you like to get into it, another way is you would give yourself a hug, right arm under left. From behind, this view would just be showing, hopefully I'm touching my shoulder blades. And then we'd keep the arms crossed as they are, just include the forearms in the wrap. So you end up in the same place. Lift the elbows a little higher. Take another breath or two. And we're going to return to koundinyasana legs with keeping these arms. So lift your back heel and start to gently lower your knee to the ground. Untuck your back toes and start to bend backward a little bit more as you bend your front knee a little bit deeper. And slowly release your arms and just put them on your thigh for a sec. Make sure everything feels okay. We'll turn it into Muktasana arms. So you can either lift your right arm up and over, hold your elbow with your left hand, stay there. Or you can bring your left arm behind the back, link your fingers. That's usually how I do it. The other way into it, I'll show you from the back. You end up in the same place. You would just deal with your left arm first. Roll that shoulder forward, get your knuckles between your shoulder blades, and then reach your right arm up and over. Doesn't matter how you get into it, you end up in the same spot. We're going to keep our arms how you have them, but return to warrior one legs. So curl your back toes, lift the back knee and then lower the heel so your back foot is about a 45-degree angle. Next, inhale, release your grip, reach up. And hands to the floor, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing. Exhale to downward facing. Let's again come onto the forearms. So if it didn't really work out for you to get your forearms parallel how you did it before, come down to your knees, then your elbows. Measure it out by wrapping your fingers around your upper arms. So you know your elbows are not too far or too close. Then put the hands, then lift your knees. Feet together. You're nice and symmetrical. Everything's pretty easy. So let's lift the left leg and try to keep the left arm as heavy as the right. Let's straighten the arms to normal downward dog. Our fingers push our chest back. And we'll step left foot forward, warrior one. Inhale to reach up. Left arm under right, eagle arms. However you need to get into it. And as you're starting to lift your elbows, move your thumbs away from your face. Keep your back leg straight. And just find a back bend that's comfortable for you, where you don't feel any tension in your neck, you don't feel nervous, your breath is not crazy. Let's turn it into Koundinyasana legs. Lift the back heel, lower gently, right knee to the floor. Take a few more breaths. Dig your front heel into the floor and bend your front knee a little deeper. Okay. Unravel the arms, take a moment. And when you're ready, change your arms so that you can link your fingers behind your back. You might need a strap if you can't link your fingers. You could hold your t-shirt if you want. And try to press your head back into your left forearm so that your chin is moving away from your chest. You're not really turtled up here. Instead, your throat is open. Let's turn it into warrior one legs. We'll curl the back toes, lift the back knee, lower the back heel. And we'll keep trying to press the head back, open the throat, open the chest. And our legs are insanely strong here. Our pubic bone is lifting up toward the belly button so that the front body is supporting us. And let's slowly release, hands down, vinyasa. And we'll meet in downward dog again, where you will have an option to stay there or to come into headstand. You can come into also a dolphin if you prefer. We're going to take Baddha Hasta A. We'll start on the knees. I'm going to wipe some sweat first so that it doesn't drip into my eyeballs. Okay, so we measure out our elbows, interlace the fingers. So if you're staying in dolphin, just keep your knees up, but your feet down. Walk your feet in a little more when you want. Head down. When you want, legs up. It's a nice and slow process, symmetrical, legs communicating with each other, elbows pushing into the ground. And we're just going to return to dolphin. So those of you with your legs up, start to lower them to a place where you can see them. Go real slow, let them come all the way gently to the floor. And push into your wrists and elbow so that your head comes up and you're back in dolphin. Let's separate the hands so palms are flat, straighten the arms, downward dog. Lift the right leg up high, inhale, pigeon, exhale. Right leg slides forward. And we'll slide that left leg back a little bit more so that even though this stretch is designed for this right hip, we still feel something in the left front thigh and hip flexor. Okay, let's come to the forearms. Steer your hips square. We'll keep the forearms as they are, just parallel to each other. Curl your back toes, lift the back knee, and slide that right leg back so you wind up in forearm plank. And just breathe here, reach your tailbone toward your heels. The belly button is drawing up so that you don't feel a banana in the back. If your hips start to drop, it feels really uncomfortable in the back. It's compromising. Let's start walking the feet in. Your butt will lift, it becomes down dog B. Press into your fingers, straighten your arms. Right leg up high, so we're still on the same side. Step forward with the right foot. And lower the back knee down. Koundinyasana, hands to that right thigh. Should be getting more comfortable now. So we'll place the right, I lied, left hand. I'm going to face you for a sec. Place the left hand just inside of the right foot. Or you can move the hand forward and place the elbow inside of the foot. Right arm up, either stay there or reach for your back foot and pull that back foot a little bit closer to your butt. Since it's the left foot, it's going to go toward the left sitting bone. Move that right shoulder back a little more. Okay, unravel. And let's just step back, downward dog. Bring the left leg forward to pigeon. And we wind up with that right knee a little bit too close to that left foot. So now slide the right knee back. Your hips will then come closer to the floor. You can keep your back toes tucked if you want. It will resemble a lunge. You'll have a lot of control then of squaring your hips. Or you can untuck your back foot and work on the strength of your ankle and toes, like what we did earlier from that lunge. We'll come to the forearms. Glue your fingers to the floor. Don't let them move. Just because in a moment we're going to lift our knee, that doesn't mean any migrations happen with the hands. So we'll curl the back toes, lift the right knee, slide the left foot back. You wind up in a forearm plank. A lot of core strength needed here. If it's too much and your breathing's crazy, just put your knees down. Don't let your hands migrate. Walk your feet in. Your butt will lift. Your fingers are pushing your chest back toward your legs. The more you do that, the easier it's going to be to get your arms straight. So think armpits toward knees. Then start to lift your elbows up. You wind up with straight arms. Left leg high, inhale. Step to the hands, exhale. Koundinyasana. First, just normal. And make a choice. Do you want your right hand down with the arm straight, or do you want your elbow down? It's just slightly different. I haven't found that one is necessarily easier. And when you can, you'll reach back for your foot. If your foot feels really far away, you could grab a strap. You could also do some little dancing maneuvers to get into it. If you unbend your front leg and have your right hand back a little bit, you can kind of cheat into it, get your grip, and then start to move yourself forward. Especially if you're new to a pose, you're going to need to cheat your way into that pose for a while. And once the pose is comfy, you start entering it from different places. Okay, let's slowly get out of there. Step back, vinyasa if you can, otherwise downward dog. So we've been doing a lot of work to keep our hands flat and not migrating toward each other. Let's put that into practice for Baddha, Hasta, Sirsasana C. If you struggled with the other headstand that we did, you're going to repeat that. instead. This is one step up. You need to make sure this headstand is comfortable before you move to this one. When you're ready, elbows down, measure it out. Make sure your elbows are not too wide, then palms flat. If you're repeating the other one, you're going to interlace your fingers. When you're ready, knees up, walk your feet in. Your head will come down to the same place it was before. So your elbows and head didn't move, only your hands moved. Try to keep your pose symmetrical as you come up. So you just walk your feet in until they can't come in anymore. And then at some point, they start to lift up through space. Keep digging your thumb and pointer finger into the floor. And those of you that went up, you'll start to bring your legs down again. We're going to meet in down dog B. So we'll just push into the hands so much that the head comes off the ground, the armpits reach toward the legs. Use your fingers to press your armpits further toward your legs. Now straighten your arms, downward dog. Right leg up high, inhale. Step forward 3/4 of the way to the hands. And we'll straighten both legs, angle the back foot. So we're in Utkatasana with this variation of fingers down. If you need fingers down for balance, keep it like that. Otherwise, interlace your fingers behind your back and let your knuckles reach around as you straighten your arms. You do not have to have your head on your shin bone, but you do want to have both legs straight. So if that means that you don't fold as far, that's fine. Take your knuckles a little further away from your butt. Let's release the grip. Walk your hands over to the other side, and we'll just do this on the other side. So we'll be facing the left foot. The right foot will be about 45-degree angle. We have a heel-to-heel alignment. Either the fingers are helping your balance or interlace behind the back. I like to bend the elbows at first, roll the shoulders a few times, and then straighten the arms. Otherwise, for me, this pose doesn't work. I don't really feel anything. I get stuck. But you're going to find your way. Okay, we'll release the hands. Quarter turn to the right. Stay where you are. I'm just going to flip around to face you for a sec. Okay, we're going to turn the heels in. Toes will be facing out. And we'll put our elbows on the inside of our knees. Bend the knees so you're in this variation on goddess pose. It's a pretty lazy hip stretch. We're just letting the arms push our knees back. And because our chest is leaning forward, it doesn't even take any arm strength. You can always have your hands on your ankles. You might want to shift a little bit side to side. You might notice this is very much like froggy pose, which we will be doing shortly. Okay, start to straighten the legs. Walk your hands to the right foot again. Same legs as before, Bharadvajasana leg. We're going to turn it into twisted triangle. Left hand on either side of your foot, maybe on a block, maybe on a stack of books. Right arm up. We'll stay here for 5 breaths. We'll keep trying to push the right hip back, away from the right armpit. Okay, and slowly unravel yourself. Head over toward the left leg. So the left foot will be facing front, right foot about 45 degrees. The right hand somewhat under your shoulder. That's true of wherever you put your hand. So if your hand goes on the pinky toe side of your foot, to get your shoulder over your wrist or over your hand, you just have to twist more. That's why having the hand on the pinky toe side of the foot is just a harder position. Okay, and let's unravel. Quarter turn to the right, and either repeat this goddess variation or come into froggy, which there's no easy way into it. Oh, and there's no easy way to exist in it. So we just have our knees down. Our shin bones are parallel to each other. The feet are flexed. You can come to your elbows if you want. Some of you might get your pubic bone down to the floor. Mine is probably 6 or 8 inches away. Oh, Lordy. If you love it and you think you want more, instead of facing the long edge of your mat and having your knees both on the mat, you could have one knee off to the side so that it slides more. Because maybe if you're on your mat, you get stuck kind of here. If you're not on your mat, you slide more. Ouchie. Can't say that I love it. Okay, so the easiest way out of it is just to roll onto your belly and then wiggle your legs together. And somehow you're going to crawl yourself into a downward dog on your mat again. We've all probably ended up facing different ways. So we'll reconvene on the mat. Let's lift the heels high. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, jump forward. Inhale at the top. Fold, exhale. Bend into the knees, Utkatasana. Right ankle to the lower left thigh, flying pigeon. Chest forward, butt back, belly in. So this is a stretch just like pigeon. We'll do a few things that stem from this place. So you want to just make sure that your left foot is behaving. Nice footprint with the toes spread out. Okay, let's start to lift the torso. We're going to slide the hands underneath the shin and foot and just lift the leg up. Woo, I'm dancing a little bit. So now it's like your shin is a platter and you're just letting your knee move down as the foot comes up so that you deepen the stretch for the right hip a little bit. Just take one more breath. And we'll return to flying pigeon. As soon as you start to bend your standing leg, it's going to get easier again. Your center of gravity gets lower. Now, if you can, bring your right elbow to the arch of your foot. If that's going well, bring your tricep. If that's going well, go further. As high up as you can on your arm. Thumbs to center chest. Just like before, your right knee is dropping toward the floor. Okay, so we'll keep our balance. We're going to untwist. We'll bring our right knee to the chest, just as a little transition place. And the left hand is going to reach down to the pinky toe side of the foot, so we can extend the right leg forward and twist. Right arm will reach back, and we might even look back. Okay, untwist. Ankle to knee, last time. The option here will be a Asana, jump back, vinyasa. I'm going to face the front so that I have my mat for my hands. The hands will come down about 12 inches in front of your left foot. You're going to put your right knee on your right arm, your right foot on your left arm. You'll lean forward until that left foot comes off the ground. At some point, you're pushing down so much with your shin into your left arm that your leg can extend. The exhale is going to put you in a chaturanga. You'll just keep the vinyasa going so that you wind up in a downward dog. It's just a fun way to get out of that pose, but it is by no means the only way. Okay. After your exhale, jump forward. Inhale there towards straight legs. Exhale to fold. Bend into the knees, Utkatasana. And we do all of this on side 2. So the left ankle to the lower right thigh, butt out, chest forward. Your left elbow can nudge your left knee down. Keep drawing your belly in so it's not just resting on your legs. I'm prompted to tell you to do that because I just felt my belly kind of ooze out onto my thigh. Okay, torso up a bit, reach underneath your left leg and start to lift it up. We'll try to stand up tall and keep our right leg straight. And those of you that ever move toward foot behind the head, you know that your foot has to be able to come up a little higher than that knee. It all stems from the hip. So we're not really torquing anything. It's just letting that left hip open. And it is on its own schedule. So get your ego out of there. You can put your ego just in the hallway closet until class is over. Let's bring our left knee again to our right lower thigh. And either stay there or put your elbow in the arch. And I like to hold my heel with the right hand just for a little extra stability so that I can get higher up on the arm. The higher up you are, obviously, the deeper the twist. Maybe the harder it is to breathe. But if it's difficult to breathe, you're actually going to think about breathing. So that could be valuable. Okay, we start to untwist. Transition place, just bring your left knee to the chest. And when you can, your right hand reaches to the pinky toe side of your foot. Then you'll kick the left leg out, reach the left arm back, possibly look back. And if your left leg can't get straight, that's fine. You might have it quite bent, but you need to push the ball of your foot away from you. As long as you're pushing, there's going to be enough tension there between hand and foot that you'll stay balanced. Let's untwist, ankle to thigh. Exit if you want through the arm balance. So I'll face this way for a sec in case you're new to this. This foot has to stay really flexed because the top of the foot is going to push in to the arm, and this part of the shin is going to push down. If this at any point starts to point, pose is over. The arm balance is over. So your ankle is working. It is not playing around in this pose. And when you want vinyasa, we're going to meet in downward dog. And we'll jump through to sitting on our butts, however you want to do that. Double pigeon. Right leg on top. Oh, yay. I can't contain my smile for double pigeon. So chest to shin. And just like you were doing in the balance, this knee is dropping down. It's a lot easier now that you're not balancing, but if your hips are tight, you might look like this. It might look like this for a year, but this is one of those poses that you will see progress, and it will get easier. We cannot say the same about warrior one or twisted triangle. Those poses never get easier. Okay, rise up. Open up the legs for Upavishta Konasana. The way you measure out your feet, so it's not a big wide split. You're going to reach your hands for the pinky toe edges of your feet. If your feet are in some weird location, you won't be able to get that grip. So once you have that grip, you're going to straighten your legs a lot, press your calf muscles into the floor, and make sure your kneecaps face up. So even though your chest comes forward, your thighs do not. Okay, rise up, double pigeon, side two. Just have to look at the clock. Okay. Left leg is on top. Chest forward. If you are in one of those positions where you're up here somewhere, you might want to wedge something under here, a pillow, a towel, whatever, just so that it's resting on something. Sometimes that's just feels more comfy in the knee. Okay, so we'll rise up for Baddha. Soles of the feet together, knees open up to the side, and they're going to drop down because your hips are opening. We'll give our torso a little nudge forward so that we meet the feet with the chest. Head somewhere out in front of the feet. You don't have to keep your hands on your feet. You could bring them to your thighs. Sometimes doing a little manual rotation feels good. Okay, let's rise up. We'll bring the knees together and just curl into a little ball with our feet as close to our butt as we can. You can hug your arms around your legs at first and notice you are very small. Your shoulders and knees are close together. Try to keep that as you reach forward. Try to keep your knees together. Very difficult. 2 more breaths. And we'll meet in downward dog. Some of you will just lean forward, open the knees a bit, and you'll wind up in a squat, and then you can put your hands down. That's the easiest way if your knees are okay with that process. Okay, we're going to sit in toe crunch for a moment. So we'll come onto the knees, and we'll curl the toes under. Looks easy enough. Sometimes, I'll just show you from the back, sometimes people are in this pose and their ankles are doing something crazy like this. This would be called avoidance. So bring your inner ankle bones together. If you have no knee pain and your toes are doing okay, sit. Nice, right? Okay, while we're there, I'm just going to face you, but you're fine as you are. Think of that very first thing we did where we reached up. In Ashtanga, this is Ekam. 1. That's the first thing we do. So release your arms down again. Roll the shoulders out. Your palms will reflect what your shoulders just did. And then on your inhale, reach up. So we're going to try a headstand in just a moment where this is what has to happen. The shoulders have to do that. It's a very hard headstand. The hardest, I would say. Options would be to put a wall behind you or to repeat one of the other ones. So when you're ready, lift your butt off of your feet. You'll put your head down and you'll bring your arms out to the side. And when the hands are out to the side, you won't even know what way your shoulders are rotating. So you're going to think pinky fingers pressing down. And that's really all you can do to kind of make it through this pose. So you'll lift your heels and eventually your feet. And you're just going to think of your shoulders as you lift your legs up. And if you're choosing one of the other headstands, it's sort of the same idea. You work on your foundation. Those of you that are going up, chaturanga exit. So you move your hands as you're going to bring your feet down into chaturanga. And sometimes I feel precarious, so I don't go all the way up. And later, when I see the video of this, I will know if I went all the way up. But at this moment, I don't know if I did. But I'd rather not go all the way up than overshoot and fall over. Okay, let's bring the butt through to sit down. So if you're working on your jump throughs, you're going to try to curl into a little ball for as long as possible. You'll keep your knees by your shoulders, then extend your legs and lower your butt. So you just stayed tight as you came through. Okay, let's bring the right ankle to the lower left thigh. Lean back, scoot your left foot close to your butt, and then lean forward to get your chest close to your shin. It's very similar to all the other stuff you did, just that now you're on your butt. Okay, extend that left leg out again. If half lotus is for you, bring your right heel to your belly button and your right foot into half lotus. Your knee will come in about 45 degrees, maybe 35 degrees. If half lotus is not for you, sole of foot to left thigh. Then your knee will be 90 degrees. And then once you're set with your legs, fold forward, reach for your foot with your hands. And regardless of which leg you've chosen to do, you're going to try to bring your armpits toward your left foot. Here's the thing that's tough. Armpits toward the foot, shoulders away from the foot. It sounds like I'm telling you to do two opposite things, but it's not really. Bringing the armpits forward, that's your torso. Now roll your shoulders back and try to keep your arms in the socket. Okay, and rise up, just switch legs. Right leg out straight, left ankle to lower right thigh. Lean back so you can get your right heel close to your butt, and then lean forward as much as you can. This foot might not come that close to your butt. You might be out here somewhere. That's fine. We're just trying to get this left hip to think maybe half lotus is something that it wants to do. Maybe not, who knows? Okay, so if you are going half lotus, bringing your heel to your belly button first is going to help you get everything else situated. So either there or left foot to thigh, reach out. And there's a little twist here. So as you're reaching, you're going to think left armpit, left ribs forward, right ribs up toward the ceiling. And depending on what you're focusing on this time, like every time you do this pose, it might be different. Might be your right calf muscle pushing into the floor to get your legs straight. Might be your shoulders rolling back. Your mantra is going to change depending on what you're thinking of. Okay, and let's rise up. Let that go. Step back, vinyasa. Again, we're going to jump through to sitting. So those of you thinking of your jump throughs, remember to keep your knees in. Some people do it with straight legs, but with my proportions, I cannot figure out how to do that. So I would teach it to you with knees bent, lean forward, shoulders are forward, then you can lower down. Okay, Marichyasana C. So we're going to bend the right knee and get the heel as close to your butt as you can. If you have any knee issues, just have your foot further forward. The only difference will then be that you can't bind. Hook your arm, left arm outside of the leg. If your heel's close to your butt, your thumb is going to guide your arm around your shin, and you can hold hands near your left hip. Okay, unravel. Let's stand on this right foot for a moment. Lean the weight forward and come onto the ball of the foot so your heel is off the ground. This is just a weird way into koundinyasana. So we're going to twist, hook our arm, left arm, on that right thigh. If you've never done this before, when you put your right hand down, you're going to bring your hip to your elbow and then lean. If you have done this before, you know that I don't want you forever leaning your hip into your elbow. You're going to have to twist more to get your hip to come into the space between your elbows. So either way, there's that process of getting your shoulders over your fingers. Let's come on down to our butts again and just try it all on the other side. I'll face the same way for now so you can see the bind if you haven't before. So we hug that left knee to the right shoulder. We try to hook the arm. And when you're ready for the bind, your right shoulder has to roll forward so that you can get your elbow to bend in front of your shin and creep your fingers around. Your fingers will be near your right hip. Then the left hand just comes around and reaches itself toward your hand. So the right hand is gripping the left wrist if possible. Most of the shoulder work is being done by the right arm on this side. Okay, Let that go. So we'll come on to that little weird no man's land squat. And I'm going to face you guys again. So to get the hip to the elbow is pretty easy. You just kind of lean and your forearms balance you. So once you're comfortable with that, you need to take it up a notch because that is not your forever place. Make sure your hands are just like they'd be in downward dog. No weird planes, no weird distances, just the same. Lean into it, twist deeper. You could even look to the left to help you to twist deeper, and your left hip is just going to float in space. And then come on down to your butt when you've had enough of such things. Okay, let's find our Upavishta again, just for a moment, so that it's nice and symmetrical. Chest down. We'll rise up. We'll bring our right leg onto the mat and lean so we can swing our left leg back. So we end up in something resembling a split. It does not have to look quite like a split. It could be more like a koundinyasana, which we did earlier, this thing. It could be more like a half split, which we did earlier, this thing. Once you're comfortable in the position you've established, bring your left forearm down, come onto your right fingertips, and twist yourself just a bit. Give yourself a little nudge through the torso. It's going to change your hip feelings. Okay, lower to your butt again, so rock to that right hip. We're just going to change sides, swing the left leg around, then lean onto the left hip, swing the right leg around, and find your Hanumanasana. So often when we're in splits, our torsos are kind of angling off to this odd 40-degree angle or so. To keep that in check a bit, just bring your right forearm down and try to bring your right ribs forward. You might find that then you can separate your legs more, but you also might find the opposite. You might find that it's too intense and you need to back up a little bit. Okay, we'll meet in downward dog. Shake out your head. We're going to use that split sensation in just a moment to our benefit. Okay. So we're either going to do a Marichyasana or a handstand. Those of you with tight shoulders, handstand is actually going to be easier. So Marichyasana is the one where you start on your forearms in down dog V. Handstand, you would just start in down dog normal. You're going to lean your shoulders over your knuckles. Step one foot in a little bit. This is the same, whether you're in handstand or pincha. Let your wrists decide, and then you'll let your top leg reach, and you'll try to get your hips to also go over your knuckles. Just try a few times, a few breaths. And we'll meet again in a down dog, A or B, whichever one you happen to be in. And let's come through to sitting. Those of you in down dog B, you'll have to straighten your arms first, and then jump it through. Okay, Bharadvajasana. So, the left leg is going to fold back like Virasana, and the right leg is going to come into a half lotus. Both of these positions might be a little too much for your knees, in which case your left leg would just be straight, and your right foot would be by your inner left thigh. Regardless of all that, your knees are going to be about mat's width. I'm facing front so you can't see that, but it's about the edges of your mat. So once you're established with your legs, you're going to twist to the right. You're going to try to put your left hand either on top of your right knee or underneath your knee. If it's underneath, you're going to push your knee down like crazy into that hand. Your right hand can either stay on the floor and help you twist, or reach it around your back. If you're in half lotus, you're going to grab your toes. If you're not in half lotus, you're just going to grab your thigh or your pants. Okay, slowly unravel and try the other side. So it'll be the right leg either straight or in Virasana. The left leg either like Janu A or half lotus. And those of you going to half lotus, remember how we did it before. Foot up, knee down. Just repeat until eventually it's there comfortably. Add the twist. If your hand is on top of your knee is going to push down into the floor as best it can. So the mantra here is each inhale you get taller, each exhale you twist a little more. Okay, and let's slowly unravel. Straighten out both legs. And just like we did much earlier on, I think it was like the second thing we did in the whole class, we're going to inhale, sitting tall. Exhale, twist to the right. Think of pushing your right hip forward. Inhale, center, and exhale, twist left. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist right. Sometimes it's nice to do this against a wall with your feet on the wall. Inhale, because then you know that your feet haven't shifted and your hips haven't shifted. Okay, inhale through center. And exhale, release vinyasa. Okay, we're going to jump through to sitting. Those of you working on the jump through, try to keep your shoulders more forward than is comfortable for you emotionally. So you drag yourself forward with your fingers. It's a little nuts, but over time it works out. Okay, I wanted to do Marichyasana F. Sit on a book if you need to. The left leg is going to fold back like Virasana. I'll spin this way for a sec. It's so the arch is just cradling the hip. If that doesn't work for you, I would just grab my dictionary and sit like this or even higher. Or straighten the leg. Twist once you're set. That right leg is facing up to the ceiling. And then it's the same twist you did before. You did a Marichyasana C earlier. The shoulder rolls forward, the thumb goes around the shin bone. It's the same bind that you did before, just that your left leg is different. And if you're choosing to have your left leg straight instead, then it's the same pose you did before, it would be Marichyasana C. Otherwise, it's Marichyasana F. Take one more breath here. And we'll unravel. And we'll make our way through vinyasa. If you want to challenge yourself, you could go for Bharadvajasana from here. You would lean forward, place your shin bone on your upper arm, lean forward more, get your right foot off the ground. Lean forward more, get your left knee off the ground, and then push your shin into your arm until your butt goes up so your leg can go up. Vinyasa from there would be the same as from our other arm balance. And let's try the other side. To come through to sitting. Marichyasana F. Right leg will fold back. And we want our butt to be level. So if you're leaning, just sit on stuff. You can decide how thick your book is. Take your time to roll the flesh of that left thigh in. So that when you go to hook your arm, there's not so much in the way. Both boobs should be free on the side of your leg, facing the side. If you have a boob stuck in your thigh area, you will be restricting how far you can twist. So you can use your left hand to free your right boob. Okay, slowly get out of there. You could also just step to a vinyasa like a normal person. If you feel the need, Bharadvajasana, this is just a nice way into it because you're already curled up in this little ball. So you can already test your strength. Eventually the leg goes back because you leaned a little further forward. So we'll meet in downward dog. I'm going to check my clock again. Oh, nope. Okay. Let's jump through to sitting. We're going to lay on our backs. Let's hold the ankles. You decide how far your feet are from each other. They'd be no closer than hips width, but possibly further. And take out your bun if you have a bun. Lift the hips, roll the shoulders underneath you. So notice your palms are facing in. Keep that rotation in your shoulder. Just move your hands to the inside of your ankles. So now you have your knuckles on the inside ankles. Your palms are just facing each other. Maybe you can roll your arms a little further underneath you. And interlace the fingers together. Maybe you can even get your palms together. And keep your fingers interlaced. Drop your butt onto your forearms. You'll end up with this back bend, very passive, very lovely and relaxing. Okay, lift your hips again. Either stay here, this is Sirsasana, or come into Baddha. Place your hands by your shoulders. Maybe come onto the top of your head. Make sure that your elbows are over your wrists. Then straighten to full pose. And let's come on down, nice and slow from wherever you wound up. We will be doing that again, but in the meantime, let's bring the knees in, belly in. We're going to do a back bend that requires some abdominal strength. So before we do anything with the legs, just bring your belly button down toward the floor, toward your spine. Release your grip, extend your legs about 45 degrees. And just make sure it doesn't hurt. If it does, you're going to want your legs to be higher. Bring your knees in again. Okay, into Marichyasana. So I'm going to back up a bit because I think maybe my feet end up off camera. So we're going to aim for that 45-degree place with the legs. You're going to place your palms by your butt, lift your chest, roll your shoulders back, and get the top of your head to the floor. Now when you can, if your back and abdominal say it's okay, you'll lift your legs about 45 degrees. Crown of the head is down. If you want, your arms can come out in an extended prayer, straight arms with palms together. Chin up, chest up, and then release. So that is a really great chest opener, but it requires an insane amount of hip flexor strength and core strength. Okay, bend the knees. Either Setu Bandha or Utkatasana again, which is going to seem really easy compared to what you just did. We'll come on down. And we'll try that same thing one more time. If instead you want to do some of that prep work and just work on getting your belly kind of in and online, do that instead. When you're ready, chest up, crown of head down, extend the legs. Extend the arms if you want. And then release. We'll let the Knees come in, the shoulders come down, rock and roll a bit. Okay, so our next back bend, we're going to attempt to come onto the forearms. It will start like Utkatasana. I'm just going to bun up my hair because otherwise I pull my hair out. And I'll face this way. A lot of you know it, so just go ahead into it. We'll place the hands, come to the crown of the head. Then walk the hands toward the feet. Your elbows are going to come down. And you can either keep your palms flat, you can interlace your fingers. You're going to work your legs more, push your chest through your arms, and try to get your head off the ground. It's just a nice way to back bend. Doesn't involve any wrist issues. A little more for the shoulders. If you're in that forearm version, this is called Viparitadandasana. You're going to lower to the crown of the head again. Then replace your elbows with palms. Straighten the arms, or Baddha, and then come down onto your back like you normally would. So the exit does not include any weird rolling over your neck. Okay, bring the knees in. I'm going to turn you loose for like 2 minutes of whatever back bend you want. Some of you, Marichyasana is where we're going. I'll show you one, and then I'm going to watch you guys on the screen. Those of you going for pincha, you've done a lot of chest openers, so you're going to just deepen it a little bit. So remember earlier we did a side bend where I said pay attention to where your hips are in relation to your feet. So the same thing here, I'm going to reach my hips one way and my feet the other way. So just play with that. And if that's not for you, play with any back bend. I'm going to look at you guys on the screen and see if I have anything valuable to add. I love it. Candace is in, her background is the Golden Gate Bridge. Carol, you need your hips further away from the wall. And Miss Katie, get your top leg a little bit straighter. Okay. Very good. Yeah. Okay. So you'll notice the name of the game really is you just have to practice this stuff like crazy. Each time you just add one more thing that you didn't even think of before. So let's come down to our butts from wherever you wound up. We'll bring the soles of the feet together like you did in Bharadvajasana. And let's pull the chest forward, arch, inhale. Round the back, exhale. Just a few times like that. Okay, we are going to meet in downward dog, but some of you are going to go through a little baby Utkatasana process first. So we'll soles of the feet down, lower them down, lift your butt, rock toward your squat. And you're going to bring your forearms down in front of you. And the reason this is difficult right now is because you just did a lot of back bend. So you need to exaggerate this idea of Uddiyana Bandha. Remember all those kriyas we've done in the past where you hollowed yourself? So to get your elbows down right now, after all your back bends, you really have to work that Uddiyana Bandha and make your belly drop in. If you're able, you're going to bring your knees toward your upper arms, either in your armpits or just outside, and lean forward, lift your feet. So your head is off the ground. You're basically just staring at the floor that's like 2 inches in front of your fingers. Heels are moving up toward your butt. And when you've had enough of such things, just step back, downward dog. We'll all meet there, dog, shake out your head. And now the belly hollowing is just going to happen if you let it. You can exaggerate it if you want to. but it will happen on its own. Let's walk hands back to feet. Bend the knees, reach your arms around the outside of your legs, and then through the center, hold opposite shin. So you have your forearms crossing. Start to straighten your legs. Drop your head. Try not to sink all your weight into your heels. Nudge your weight just a little bit forward. I always shake my head violently when I'm in these kind of forward bends. And I just cracked my neck and it felt so good. But I don't know if anyone else likes to do that. So I don't know if I should recommend it. Okay, let's release the hands. Walk into your downward dog again. Come through, have a seat. Straighten out the legs. Utkatasana. If you're having trouble getting the belly to draw in, you could take your hands off your feet, put them just to the sides of your belly button, either fingertips or knuckles, and literally push in. So that it almost feels like you're poking your fingers through your body and they're going to come out your back. Okay, and then have a seat, either cross-legged or lotus, whichever suits you. If you are going for lotus, right leg first, get your knee to come in, then to the ground, and then left leg. If your right knee is up here somewhere, you don't want to do your left foot yet because you'll end up torquing everything. So if that's you, if you're in this half lotus, you could just wedge something with my trusty little book. I would just put it like that until one day it can be resting on the foot. And then another year it's resting on the floor, and then second. Okay, let's bring the hands to the knees. Pointer and thumb connect, other three fingers away, chin to chest, and chest up toward chin. Jalandhara Bandha. There's a restriction now in the throat. And with that restriction, you have more ability to control your breath. So just count how many seconds is your inhale. And try to make your exhale the same number of seconds. If you can, add 2 seconds to that number. For your Shavasana, you may decide to just stay and breathe in a sitting position. You may decide to unravel your body and lay back. Make wise choices for you. few more breaths there on your back. It's never too late to let go of whatever you've been holding on to. You can read a lot of stories of Buddhist monks obtaining enlightenment as quickly as it takes for their master or their teacher to slap them. Just like that. The same is true for just letting go of the tension. You might try for 5 minutes, but still, there's that second that you let it go. Let's bring the knees to the chest, roll over to the side. And with the eyes closed, with minimal effort, sit up. And practice a little bit of leaning forward or back to see where is the easiest place to be. Where does it require almost no muscle to be upright? Where do the bones stack the best? What is the optimal blueprint? The spine goes all the way up to the base of the skull, so maybe you need to move the ears as well, tilt your chin up or down so that your neck has no tension. Let's bring the hands together with the thumbs between the eyebrows. Inhale. And fold forward any amount. Still in your practice. Take a breath or two. Namaste. Thanks, you guys. I'm going to come around and say hello.